Welcome to Smoke Signals, everyone. I'm Matt Montgomery, along with head football coach and athletic director Wayne Coleman. Jacksonville played at home last week against Marshall. Coach, Mavs come away with a 42-21 win, and that game just changed. Really, it looked like to me at the end of that first half when you didn't get in, they turned right around. A 14-point swing right there was killer.
Yeah, it was. We had a chance to take the lead there and hopefully finish off the first half with the lead, but we don't get it in, and they have a great drive.
You had a great game plan in the first half. I mean, it's 14-all, and you're just inking and dinking it down the field, and you got get first downs started piling up, and then you kept your defense off the field, which was pretty key with Marshall's running game.
It is. I think we had 23 first downs, which is probably our best performance of the year in that category. Did a good job of possessing the football. Our time of possession was real good. The game plan was working good the first half.
Once again, Coach, it was turnovers, and that was pretty much the difference in the game. You just a couple of them came late, though, when the game was a little bit ahead. But those are starting to pile up, and I know that's an issue, and I know you guys work on that. But also Marshall made some pretty good plays on the ball too.
They did, and they've got great team speed. So anytime you're facing that kind of speed, it's going to put your kids in positions where they've got to make quicker decisions, and makes the opportunity for mistakes much greater.
Once again, Coach, you peppered the field with receivers. I mean, you had like 7 different guys catch the football. I know you want to continue to do that. It's hard to focus on one guy when you're doing that kind of stuff.
It is, and we're going to continue to spread it around and keep everybody involved in the offense. It's important that there's going to be nights where defense chooses to focus in, take this player or that player away, so we've got to have everybody ready to step up.
Coach, it's been a long time since Jacksonville has had a much better game statistically than Marshall. It's usually been the other way around. And again, turnovers had a key, but sometimes you can't really pinpoint it on one thing. But statistically, you just had overall better than Marshall was.
Yeah.
Except the score.
Yeah, obviously we'd trade those numbers with them right now. Our kids played hard, and it's a tribute to them. They've really been grinding this year. They haven't given up. They keep working hard. They believe in the plan, and for the most part, we executed the plan pretty well the other night.
Well, there were some great highlights in the game versus Marshall. Let's take a look at those right now. Of course, here's the first touchdown of Latrell, and it just got right in the blue paint.
Yeah, that's a route that we ran a lot last year with Freeney, and Latrell's doing it now for us.
Here's our defensive player of the game, senior Darian Jones. Boy, he sniffed that out.
Darian had a great all-around game, especially on defense.
One step here to Latrell, gets that foot down.
Yeah, another great play by Latrell.
Watch Hinojosa here on a tough run.
Dino's a tough kid. He runs the ball really hard. He's a great inside runner for us. He's willing to take the pounding.
Here's the deep ball to your freshman.
Just a great play by Mello there. Great throw by Clater. Well-executed play.
Coach, and you look at the statistics, I mean, you just had so many big plays, and unfortunately, it just seemed like Marshall just kind of eased away there in the second half. I mean, your defense played really well, I thought. They
did. I mean, it's unfortunate that they had 2 or 3 just really big runs. And it's hard to explain sometimes to people what happens, but basically on every single play that an offense runs against you, you've got a defensive player assigned to fit in a certain gap, and this guy's got to be there. So all 11 guys have to be in the right spot, and it only takes about one guy to miss what we call a fit, and there's a wide open hole to run through. And when you've got Marshall speed, and you misfit 3 times, that's 3 touchdowns.
I don't think people really take into account the spacing that football has, and like you said, the A gap, the B gap, the slots, the fits, really important.
It is, and it takes a lot of discipline, and that's why when you'll see people say, how come that kid doesn't play anymore? He's the fastest kid on the team, or whatever. Well, number one, is he always going to be in the right gap? Can you count on him to be dependable? Because the other 10 guys on defense are expecting him to be in the right place all the time. Number 2, will he tackle? Can he tackle? So there's so many things that go into it that I think, it's easy in the stands sometimes to say, that kid doesn't get to play enough. Well, we make our kids earn the right to play. And if they prove they can do it in practice, then they get to play.
So you're 1-1 in district with a lot of other teams. So I mean, this thing's still going on, still in it. Pine Tree, one of the leaders in the district. I'm not going to call them the surprise of the district. Everybody knew this was going to be one of their best teams, maybe ever. This is a good Pine Tree team that you're heading over to Longview to play. Of course, we know about DJ Freeman. I think this is his 8th year to start, something like that.
Yeah.
Man, he's been there forever. But this is a good Pine Tree team. Wow.
They are. They do a great job of ball control. They run the ball really well. They've got a huge offensive line. And then they play action you, and that's usually how they get people open. Freeman is just a big-time playmaker. If you are able to shut down the run game with the running back, they're gonna let Freeman tote the ball and make big plays with his feet.
Yeah, you mentioned the running back, really good, and then they have another running back that I saw that's pretty good too. So they used to have those big, tall receivers that graduated, but now they kind of replaced it with more of a running attack.
Yeah, they're very much a power run game team. They're able to establish a run with those guys on the inside, and then Freeman will keep the ball and get outside on the edges against you. And anytime he gets loose, he's got a chance to score.
You know, we're talking about their offense being so prolific, but you can't forget about their defense. I mean, Marshall only scored 7 points on them. Of course, I know they had some turnovers, but this is a Pine Tree team that beat Crandall like 59-21 or something like that. So their defense has really improved too.
They have. They switched from a 3-4 look that they've run for the last 3 or 4 years. They've gone to a 4-2-5. They've gotten bigger on the line, so they've got some big defensive tackles, very athletic defensive end. They're pretty good on defense.
The speed factor, I mean, I don't know if we're going to see too many teams as fast as Marshall until Texas High comes to town the next week. What on defense, what kind of look are they going to give you? Are they going to have the kind of team speed that Marshall has?
They may not have the team speed that Marshall has all around, but they've got it in the right place at the quarterback position. And then they've got a slot receiver that can really go also. So they've got them spaced out in the right places. It makes it very difficult to defend them.
Coach, what will you try to do offensively? I mean, you had such a great game plan against Marshall last week, and they made the adjustments in the second half. I know Pine Tree watches that. So how will you attack their defense this week?
I think we have to just try to keep executing what we do. We were over 100 yards rushing last week and over 300 yards passing. You know, you'd like to have it a little more balanced, but when you're knocking out 23 first downs, it's hard to want to change the plan very much. We're getting to the point where we've gotten a lot of reps invested in some of the routes with the kids. The kids are getting more comfortable. I think we have to keep doing what we want to do.
I know people like me always ask you, what's going to be the plan? Well, you already have the plan. I mean, you guys have your offense that you run, but there are tweaks and things as you move through the season, aren't there?
There are personnel matchups. There are playing the chess game where you have to calculate what adjustment they're going to make defensively, so that you've got a plan to counterattack that. And so you try to stay one step ahead of the other team. They are a multi-coverage team, which makes it a little more difficult to game plan for them. A lot of people will have a base coverage that they run out of. They will show you 2, 3, 4 different coverages every game. So that makes it a little more difficult on us.
And you mentioned chess game. I know that you guys scout yourselves and you put yourselves and you look at your situations, what plays you ran in certain situations, and the other team's looking at that, so you try to change that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've got to make sure that they don't get a bead on you when you've got certain personnel in the game or whatever. So you have to have plays off of the plays.
So, Coach, 1-1 in district. What are the keys to the game for you guys to get that second win this week?
You know, we just got to play the game clean. We played a really good game last week. It just, and I'm not even saying, because our defense forced 3 turnovers.
They did.
I'm not saying that you have to be turnover free, but you have to have fewer than the other team. So, you know, when we're forcing 3 turnovers against Marshall, if we could have just been at 1 or 2, we win that football game. And when you're playing, I mean, your tail off and you're playing against fast football teams, mistakes are going to happen. And our kids generally respond to our mistakes very well. They keep grinding it out. They're tough-minded. If we can just win the turnover battle, I'm not saying don't turn the ball over. I'm saying if we can get Pine Tree to 3 turnovers and us to 1, then I think we've got a great chance to win the football game.
And you're at that part of the district schedule where you had the big three, right? And they're on Marshall, Pine Tree, and then T-High the next week. And this is a time when your kids really got to lock down.
Yeah, they do. They got to stay focused, and this isn't. You can't let the loss against Marshall cost you the next week. You don't want to lose 2 games when you lost 1. You can't let that mentality affect you. You've got to lock in and say, okay, it's a new game right now. Let's start over.
Well, it's Jacksonville versus Pine Tree over at Pirate Stadium in Longview. We'll be online at 6:45 on jhs-sports.com. You can listen to us on our YouTube channel. For head coach Wayne Coleman, I'm Matt Montgomery. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.